In today's video we'll talk about RRR movie's review and success in box office. The Telugu language Indian action epic RRR, short for Rise Roar Revolt, has returned to US theaters for an exceptional one-night-only engagement on June 1st following its initial theatrical release. Some hindsight has made it easy to guess why writer-director Rajamouli has only now broken through to Western audiences with RRR, despite his consistent box office success. Rajamouli's latest is an anti-colonial fable and buddy drama about the imaginary combo of two real-life freedom fighters, Kamram Bhim and Rama Rao Jr., and Alluri Satrama Raju, Ram Charan. RRR is also a fine showcase for Rajamouli's characteristic focus on maximalist action choreography, overwhelming stunt work and pyrotechnics, and sophisticated comp. By the time he made RRR, Rajamouli had already developed his brand of nationalistic self-mythologizing with some help from recurring collaborators like regular storywriter and biological father, Vijayendra Prasad, and both co-leads, who previously starred in Rajamouli's Yamadanga and Magadhara, respectively. Set in and around Delhi in 1920, RRR pointedly lacks historical context so that Rajamouli and his team can transform a straightforward rescue mission into a rallying cry for reunification and also cathartic violence. Bhim, the avenging shepherd of the Adivasian tribe, visits Delhi to track down Molly, Twinkle Sharma, an innocent pre-teen who's kidnapped from her Gandhian mother by the cartoonishly evil British Governor Scott, Ray Stevenson, and his sadistic wife Kathy, Alison Doody. Utter graphics. Raju, a peerless colonial police officer, befriends Bhim without realizing that they're at cross purposes. Bhim wants to break into Scott's fortress-like quarters to rescue Molly, while Raju wants to catch the unknown tribal that Scott's lackey Edward Sonamblik, fears might be lurking about. Raju and Bhim immediately bond after they save an unrelated child from being crushed by a runaway train, as clear a sign as any of Rajamouli's love for Cecil B. DeMille-style melodrama. Ben-Hur is an acknowledged influence for Rajamouli, as are the action-slash-period dramas of fellow DeMille and Mel Gibson. It's also fitting that RRR is Rajamouli's big breakthrough, since it's inevitably about Bhim as an inspiring symbol of quasi-traditional, boundary-trampling patriotism. Rajamouli has gotten quite good at incorporating potentially alienating elements, like his cheap seats love of grisly violence and brash sloganeering, into his propulsive, inventive, and visually assured fight scenes and dance numbers. Rajamouli has also already perfected the way he works with and uses his actors as part of his shock and awe style of melodrama. Rama Rao is ideally cast as the naively sweet-natured Bhim, whose messianic qualities are also effectively highlighted in a handful of rousing set pieces, like when a bare-chested Bhim wrestles a tiger into submission. Rama Rao's performance isn't the main thing, but it is the emblematic inspiration that, along with the passion of the Christ-worthy scourging, understandably leads an assembly of Indian nationals to attack Scott and his bloodthirsty Hambone wife in a later scene. Likewise, Charan's steely-eyed performance in RRR is limited, but strong enough to be credibly superhuman. Rajamouli knows exactly how to capture his best sides, as in an astounding opening action scene where Raju descends into a rioting mob just to subdue and apprehend one particular dissident. Rao and Charan's bromantic chemistry and syncopated physicality have already made a viral success of the movie's splashy Nata musical number, but that scene's infectiously joyful presentation is superhuman by design. The spirit of the individual matters more than any single person in Rajamouli's movies, and RRR is a perfect expression of that notion. It's also a decent reflection of Rajamouli's fame, which film companion South Sagar Tedali keenly suggests is the triumph of directorial ambition over the actor-star, the triumph of a brand of storytelling over the South Indian star image. With RRR, Rajamouli repeats his preference for one nation under populist Übermenschen. Both Bhim and Raju are extraordinary men because they are, at heart, aspirational expressions of the people's will. Their lives, their loved ones, and their relationships are all of secondary importance. Check out Bollywood star Ajay Devgn's explosive cameo, so it makes sense that the cast's images and performances are also blown up to James Cameron-sized proportions. Film credits. RRR, 2022. Rated NR. 187 minutes. Cast. Rama Rao Jr. as Kamram Bhim. Ram Charan as Alluri Sitrama Raju, Alia Bhatt as Sita, Ajay Devgn as Venkatarama Raju, Ray Stevenson as Scott Buxton, Alison Doody as Cassandra Buxton, Olivia Morris as Jenny Buxton, Samuther Khani as Venkateshwaralu, Shreya Saran as Sarojini, Chhatrapati Sekar as Django, Mukran Deshpande as Padana. Director S.S. Rajamouli. Writer, Story Vijayendra Prasad. Writer S.S. Rajamouli. Cinematographer K.K. Senthil Kumar. Editor Shrikar Prasad. Composer M. Keeravaani. Available in theaters tonight, June 1st, and also streaming on Netflix.